Hi, I hope everyone's doing well. I know it's been a while since we've done one of these. I'm not going to try to make excuses. I will tell you that we've been fairly busy. We've had a lot of stuff going on here the last little bit. Some of you probably know my Aunt Teresa's kind of had a rough go of it, and we've been down trying to visit her at the hospital and such, and she's doing a lot better than she was, but she still needs prayer. She's still got a long road ahead of her, and I just thank all of you that's been praying for her. Thank you sincerely. It feels good to have a church family that you can reach out to. And I don't mean just one church. I mean the one church. That's one church under God. I don't mean just the elders' church that we go to. I don't mean just the church that you go to or the church that maybe your friend goes to. But I mean the one church under God. I thank you for that. And now my mom, she's battling some sickness, so I just pray that you keep us in your prayers. I know I said a while back ago if you guys had any prayer requests, just to go ahead and share them with us, and we do that, and I mean that. But tonight I felt like maybe I need to share some requests of my own. Sometimes that's even harder to do. Sometimes it's easier to pray for others than it is to ask for requests for yourself. But I just ask that you'll keep us in your prayers. Alright, I'm going to try to get started here. We're going to start at the very end of Romans 11 and go into 12. If you would, just try to follow along there. If you don't want to, that's fine. We'll just see how this goes here. Sometimes, the Lord really gives you a bucket full before you ever start. And other times, I laughed just a minute ago and said, you got to tread by faith. And that's kind of what I'm doing. We're going to read, and we'll just see where it goes after that. Romans chapter 11 verse 36 says, "For of him," this is talking about God, "for of him, and through him, and to him are all things, to whom be glory forever. Amen. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your responsible service." Reasonable service, And it says, verse 2 says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye now prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." The Lord run that by me quite a while ago, and He's run it by me again here. It says there to be not conformed to this world. And it says there in that first verse, chapter 12, in the very first verse, to have your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. See, it's saying there that you need to follow after God, is what it's trying to tell you there. It says not to conform to the ways of this old world, friends. We can start to see the things out in this old world. We can see people going the wrong direction, see, and it seems to be real popular. It seems to be the thing to do. It makes people to go out and try to be a part of a group, see, and most of those groups are a bad thing, see. They follow after this and they follow after that. They get themselves so wrapped up in the things of this world that they're blinded and they can't see the things that they need to turn to. They get themselves so distracted, see. They get yourself so wrapped up that all you can think about is this material world and the things that you have in it. All you can think about is how big of a group of friends can you have. All you try to think about is how much money can you make. All you try to think about is how big can your house be. How many cars can you have. The people get to conform into this world, see. But that's not what the Bible teaches us. It tells us not to conform to this world, but to follow after God. It says your body is a reasonable service, to sacrifice your body for God. See, use this old body here to do God's will, not the devil's will. It tells you there that you're supposed to follow after God. What's God's will for you, lost friend? I know that's what you're thinking. See, you're sitting there going, I ain't even saved. What's God's will for me? I can tell you this one thing for sure. If you're not saved, that's His will for you to be saved. I don't care how bad you've been. I don't care how bad you think you've been. You've never been bad enough that God won't save you. If you think you have been, get to reading a little bit in this Bible. Read about the Apostle Paul. See, he was sent out. He was persecuting the church. And I tell you, God come along and pricked his heart anyway. and he turned him into an apostle. See, he ended up going from persecuting the church, from putting the church down, for going after Christians, to raising the church up, to following after God's will. In fact, if you'll read here, a lot of the New Testament, he's wrote. And I know that there's some of you out there this very day that are persecuting the church. And I know for a fact, because God's freaking your heart. See, I know God's working on you. You can't run from it. You won't get far enough away from it. You won't be able to deny it. See, in that day of judgment, He's going to ask you, how can you resist those pricks of your heart? See, what are you going to tell Him then? Lord, I didn't know it was you. You know that's going to be a lie. See, you know that the Lord's been working on you and dealing on you. And it says here you're supposed to follow after that. See, you're supposed to not conform to this world. I know there's a lot of people that just want to mount up treasures on this earth. See, them earthly treasures won't amount to nothing. They might help you get by a little bit here and there, but they're not going to help you in that day of judgment. Not enough money in this entire world. Bill Gates, President Obama, some big celebrity NFL player, ain't none of them got enough money to get them out of that day of judgment. See, ain't none of them got enough money to buy their way into heaven. You can sit in a church house and pay tithes all you want, but if you've never been saved, see, you won't have the treasures it takes to get into heaven. If you're not spiritually rich, if you're spiritually poor, meaning you've never been saved, you'll never make heaven your home. See, this whole world don't want to tell you that, though. Your old carnal mind tells you you can just buy your way in. Your old carnal mind just tells you just take care of this whole life. There ain't nothing afterwards. I tell you that there is. See, if you'll get to reading this whole Bible and you let that Spirit guide you just a little bit, you'll start to realize that this life's just a vapor, it says. This life really don't amount to much. You just try to get in and serve that the Lord have you to do, and at the end will be your reward. He rewards us now. Don't get me wrong. You know, you get in, you try to set up, you try to do what God would have you to do, and He'll bless you through that. There's no doubt. But your real reward, your real treasures at the end. See, one of these days He's going to come back to get us. See, those that's got in and served Him, those that's got in and done what His will was, those that's been saved and born again, as He says there, He's going to come back and get us. See, it says there that the signs of the end, you can read all about them. There'll be famines and there'll be pestilence. See, pestilence is a sickness. I hate to kind of say it, but you'll get to kind of noticing everybody around you, somebody around you has probably got cancer. I don't hardly know anybody that doesn't know somebody that's got it. It's a worldwide thing. See, it don't discriminate. It goes from one to the other to the other. And I know that it's maybe not a contagious thing like a cold, but I'm telling you, it's pestilence. See, it's a sickness. There's millions of people dying from it every year. See, and there's famines all over the place. People aren't getting enough food. All over the place, there's droughts going on. Out west, out in California, there's droughts. Just a couple years ago, right here in Missouri, was a bad drought. Boy, how many more droughts are we away from not having vegetables on our table? How many more droughts are we away from not having no bread on the store shelves? How many more droughts are we away from no more milk in them store shelves? See, how long do you think He's going to wait out to come get us? Do you think that playing Russian roulette with your life is smart? Or do you think just going ahead and turning over to God is what you need to do? We talked about this morning, that blood will wash you white as snow. Now wait a minute, red something red wash you white as snow? Yes. I don't understand how. I don't have to. I understand that my spirit knows that you'll be washed in that blood, that you'll be washed white as snow. See, I understand that I've turned my life over to Him. I understand that I've tried to not conform to this world now. See, there was a time I did. There was a time where all I cared about was what I was doing Friday and Saturday night. There was a time when all I cared about was having things of this world. I'm telling you now, now that I can see that there's bigger things out there, now that I can see that there's more important things out there, now that our eyes have been spiritually open, I preached this message this morning. I thought I was done with it. Now that my eyes have been open spiritually, see, I can see these things. And if you've been saved, you can too. You know that there's more to this old life than the materials. You know that you got to be spiritually rich. You know that you got to follow after that as God's will. You can see the things going on around about you, and you can read in the Bible, and you can start to line that up. You can start to see there where God said this would happen. Jesus said this would happen, and it does. You can see there where it might say in one book or the other, whether the Old Testament or the New Testament, you can start to line those things up and say, wait a minute, it's getting towards the end of times. It's getting towards those, maybe we're already into those beginning of sorrows. I believe we are. That's just my beliefs. I'm telling you, if you'll read about them, it'll probably be your beliefs too, if your spiritually eyes are open. See, there's so many people this day and age that just choose not to pay attention. There's so many people this day and age that just choose that they're going to close their eyes to it. I'm telling you, friend, in that day of judgment, when Jesus comes down and gets us, and then there's that day of judgment, I don't believe you're going to be able to stand in front of him and close your eyes and get away with it. See, you're not going to be able to run from it no more. You're not going to be able to hide from it. You're not going to be able to buy your way out of trouble. Mama and Daddy can't get you out of trouble. Grandma and Grandpa can't get you out of trouble. See, it's something you've had to handle yourself. The Bible says to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You gotta do that God would have you to. See, if He's brought conviction down onto you, if He's pricked your heart, if you know that you're not going to make heaven your home, and don't deceive yourself, don't lie to yourself. You know whether you know that whether you're going to heaven, and you know whether you're going to hell. That if you're questioning it and you're questioning it hard, get down and seek the Lord about it. He'll reveal that to you. He'll let you know. I'll just share one of my own experiences. I was saved when I was pretty young, and as I got up older, I got away from the church, and we went back to the church, and I got to questioning my salvation. The old devil would get on my back, and he'd say, "You sure you was really saved?" He'd say, "You remember how old you were? You remember what you said?" And I got to seeking the Lord about that, and it got bad enough. I finally hit my knees one day there, and I said, "Lord, if I ain't got it, let's get this figured out. I want to make sure I got what I need." He said, "You already had what you need. Now you just got to follow after me." See, I wasn't following His will, but I had been saved, and I needed to get back in and follow that He'd have me to do. See, I got out of line, but I thank God that He chastened me. I thank God that He lined me back out. I still mess up, I still slip, sometimes I stumble, but I'm telling you, I know whenever I've done that. See, He reveals that to you through the Spirit. If you've never been saved, you don't really even know whether you're doing right or whether you're doing wrong. But you know what else? If you get to read here in this Bible, we'll talk about blindness. We'll just go ahead and do it. There was two blind men there in Matthew chapter 20, and they knew Jesus was there. They were blind now, don't you understand? They couldn't see nothing. They were blind, physically blind. They couldn't see Him, but they knew He was there. How? They could feel Him. They could feel that presence. I don't care whether you're lost or whether you're saved. If the Lord comes by, you can feel it. If you're lost, you feel that as conviction. You probably get a little squirmy. You probably get a little nervous. That old heart may pitter-patter a little bit. Your old hands may sweat. Your knees may knock. You may get plumb mad at it. I know, I've been there, trust me. You get aggravated about it, see? But you know it's the Lord, see? You can't deny that. You know with all your heart that that's what it is. But instead of turning to it, you hightail it the other way. I'm telling you, that's not His will. His will is for you to turn towards Him, see? His will is for you to just follow after that. You'll have peace. You'll have joy like you've never had. This life, things will start to open up. You'll realize that you were doing the wrong thing. You'll realize that this whole world may be coming to an end pretty quick. You'll realize the love of God. So many people try to say that this is a hate speech if you preach against sin. So many people try to say that if you just try to preach the things of this Bible, they'll say it's a hate speech. It says do not to conform to this world. It also says to do the things that God would have you to rather than man. I know man awful bad wants you just to conform to this world. That's not God's will, see, though. This world, if you try to conform to this world, you're going to have yourself in a bad way. You just got to follow after that God would have you to do instead. He'll bless you through that. He'll help you through that. Sure, there'll be persecutions. There'll be trouble. And there'll be heartache. But God will then be fighting on your side. See, you'll have that to fall back on and how He'll comfort you. You can lay down in a bed. You can get a hug from your loved one. You can even have a big old dinner with your family. Whatever is the most comfortable thing in your life, whatever gives you the most comfort. See, if you're not saved, that ain't nothing compared to the comfort that God can give you if you'll just allow it. If you're not saved tonight, if you're not saved today, I pray that God keeps dealing with you. I pray that He not let up on you. I pray that He lays that spirit of conviction on you like a blanket you can't get out from, because I know that being a little bit nervous, being a little bit aggravated, being a little bit mad on this side of eternity is alright, because let's see, if you don't turn to Him, you're going to spend an eternity in hell, and that's a whole lot worse than just a little bit of nervousness now. Brothers and sisters, in Christ, just stay strong, please. Don't give up the battle. Stay in and fight for the Lord, and He'll help you with that. Those of you that aren't saved, I pray, God, that He keep convicting and working on you and not giving up on you. May God bless you.